Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a special guest, Jazzy, and out of the frame I have another special chubby guest named Bubby, but hopefully they're good. Here's Bubby, so you can see my chubby chihuahua, but anyway, like I was saying, welcome back to another installment of On Wednesdays We Wear Orange. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about my amazing experience on work release, and yeah, no, it wasn't really that amazing. I wouldn't recommend you do it. Not at all. If you're a new visitor to my channel, welcome. I hope that you stick around. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I'm so happy to be making these videos. They're a lot of fun. It's actually pretty fun to reminisce about it now that I'm in a totally different point in my life. For a while, I didn't want to talk about it because I was afraid I would be glorifying going to jail, and that's not my intention. But I think that sharing my stories now, I don't know, it's fun. Hopefully it helps. It kind of just, for me, it's about spreading the awareness that people can change. People don't expect me to have been in jail. I hear that all the time, like, oh, I would have never guessed. Like, that's the point. But I'm just here trying to make people aware that recovery is possible, rehabilitation is possible. Anyway, let's get into my story. If you were here last week, you know that when I turned myself into jail, things did not go the way I anticipated at all. I expected to go into minimum and start work the very next day. Sadly, I was very consumed with my heroin addiction at that point and did not detox. So for unrelated reasons, mostly the fact that the jail just wasn't prepared for my arrival, I was put back in general population. And I had to spend the first couple weeks back there. Like I had mentioned in my other video, I really drug my feet getting my stuff together to go to jail. I didn't go shopping for my toiletries or clothes until the night before. I didn't really even try to find a job until like the week of. And I found one in a mom and pop's type restaurant in our area. I've always worked in food service, not really as a server, more as like a manager. I was gonna be a server and they offered me double shifts every day. So I would go in for the morning shift, you know, and I'd work until lunch, and then I would get a nice break, which I couldn't leave. I would have to sit there, and then I would work the night shift, and they closed relatively early, but it sounded too good to be true. And it was way too good to be true. It just didn't work out like that. So the hiring manager knew I was going to be going to jail soon, and I started working my shifts prior to turning myself in, and everything was cool. I didn't really talk about the fact that I was going to jail soon. I wasn't proud of it. But there was one girl there that I had known from our addictions. She had been a heroin addict before, and I believe she was in recovery at that point, but I thought I could trust her for some reason, and I told her that I was turning myself into jail and that I would be back and be working on work release. And apparently I shouldn't have done that because she told everybody, and the hiring manager did not tell the owner that I was going to be on work release. It was just supposed to be this hush-hush thing. I was supposed to understand that somehow. I don't know. So I went to jail, I got hung up, had to go to general population, and the hiring manager went on vacation. Keep in mind, I'm in jail. The way that phone calls worked in our county jail, the responsibility for the payment lies on the person I'm calling. You know, I couldn't just call into the restaurant and expect them to answer. You had to set it up with a credit card payment. You had to pay a minimum of $20. I wasn't even gonna try to call the restaurant. So I talked to my mom into calling and told them I would be there as soon as I could. But again, the hiring manager was on vacation and it all fell through. It sucked. You have to have a job prior to turning yourself in. A neighboring county that we have here is completely opposite of that. They actually take their prisoners and put them in minimum, and then they allow them to go out and do job interviews and job searches, and they can put in applications. And I had just so happened to have applied for a temp agency in my hometown prior to turning myself in, and they hadn't called me back. I filled out the application and never heard anything. My mom had my cell phone, and I got the call from Kelly Services. I'll actually say the name because they're not even in business anymore. So they wanted to give me a job at a factory in my hometown, and like, hell yeah, sign me up. I'm already there. Everything fell apart in the worst way possible, but it fell back together in a way that I could have never expected, but definitely needed. I had time to detox. I really got scared shitless knowing like, oh my God, I'm not going to work. I'm not in minimum. Oh my God, I'm in general population. Like, this is it. This is real. This is happening. And I needed that. I needed to have my senses shaken into me. I just thought, I don't know what, I was so naive and so entitled. I thought that things were just gonna work out because they always had. But shit does not always work out. Things do not play that way. And yeah, I had to be kicked down pretty far to really be able to appreciate when things fell back together. I think that's the best way to say it. For some reason, in another video, I will tell you this, but I did not lose my license when I went to jail. My sentence was that I lost my license for 1 year. I had to do 7.5 months in work release, 3 months house arrest, 5 years probation, which turned into parole because I was transferred between states. But they didn't take my license, and I got incredibly lucky. I commuted almost an hour to work in my hometown, and I did this every day. I worked at a factory, and I'd never done factory work before, but I loved it. And I actually was working with a bunch of guys who were also on work release, but from a neighboring county, the one I had mentioned earlier. It was interesting to get to see and interact with them because, I mean, hell, they were funny and it was entertaining, but like, the way work release is set up in these two counties, it was just so different. It's very interesting. I could go into that in another video. But yeah, I'm enjoying this series. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. If you have any suggestions or questions or things you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I got this really cool blanket for Christmas, and it's about coffee. So it has like words on it. It says like cafe, mocha, and then I hope you guys can see that. It says addict. My blanket says addict all over it. Yeah. Pretty funny. I thought it was an awesome Christmas gift, but come here, Mo. I'll introduce you to my third puppy. Come here. This is Ramona Lisa. She's a crazy Bia, but I love her. That's all the dogs I have, though.